everyone and welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Shiv. Hello, if you're coming back then welcome. In today's video I have a full face of testing new makeup products, techniques-ish. Kind of, you'll see in the video. But this is just me playing with some new makeup products, trying some things out, sharing my thoughts, feelings, opinions, emotions on them. I'm just kind of getting back into like the makeup kind of game again. I did a little cut crease today. I haven't done a cut crease in a very long time. I'm really into it. I feel like these colours go really nicely together. So if you'd like to see how I achieve this makeup look, my kind of thoughts on some new makeup products, we've got all mixtures of brands in this video, high end and low end. But yeah, if you'd like to see how I got this makeup look, then please carry on watching. Before you do, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It means the absolute world. Please follow me on my social media pages. I'm shivonmakeupbiz on Instagram and TikTok. And without further ado, let's just jump straight into the video. We are back in business. Today I'm filming a testing makeup video. This feels very strange, but I'm excited to get back into filming again. I wanted to do something that was easy to kind of get talking about makeup again. So that's what we are doing. I've got a large selection of products that are new to me, some that aren't so new to me that I wanted to talk about, that kind of thing. So if you want to see me put them on my face, see my first impressions, a whole mixture of brands. We've got Elf, PIXI, Natasha Denona. What else have we got? Be Perfect. We've got that cocoa sponge. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. So I'm excited to give it a go. And when I tell you the chaos before I pressed record on this video is literally insane, because it just took me ages to like get filming again. I've spoken about this a fair bit recently. I'm not going to get into it in this video. I'm going to try and keep it just the makeup after this ramble intro. But my battery rechargeable thing decided not to work. Then I looked under my bed for my spare batteries, but everything was on my bed, so it went everywhere, and then it was just chaos. So I'm very happy to have finally pressed record, and now I'm talking to a camera again. Hi guys, how are you doing? I am going to reply to comments and everything soon and really kind of get back into things. Like this half of the year of 2022 is going to be like content crazy, so watch this space. I feel like my click isn't sassy enough. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with the brows. This is not a new product, but it's something that's very, very well loved by me. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze. This stuff is amazing. I've had this for quite a while, and you can't really tell because it's clear, but I literally have to scrape around the outside now to get into all of the product. It's just so good. So I'm actually going to use the end of a tweezer just to scrape out the wax, because there's tons of product left. So I'm going to take about that sort of amount, and then on the back of the lid I'm just going to wipe the product, and then what I'm going to do, close that up, is take my spoolie into the brow freeze. Load that up. I usually do have brow lamination, but it's kind of like faded away, so I'm just going to spike them up a little bit, just because that's personally how I like to wear my brows nowadays. I like them very like unsymmetrical, almost like undone type lips. So I'm just going to start with this eyebrow, and what I like to do is smooth the spoolie back through the brows the opposite direction, so you look a little bit crazy, and then just take the spoolie and start kind of like rolling up through the hair to really flatten that down and like give it a really good shaping. I've decided I'm going to skip brow lamination for the month of May, as well as eyelashes. Like, it's been so long since I've been on my channel without eyelash extensions, but just to save a little bit of money and just kind of give them a bit of a break, so we're just going back to strip lashes and brow soap for now. So it's quite simple. I just brush them up into shape, and as you do it, the brow freeze will start to set. What I like about this product is that even though it does set, it leaves a nice shine to your brows, whereas I find some brow soaps, it almost looks like you've got powder residue running through them, which me personally isn't really the look that I'm going for. So I feel like that's pretty much how I like them. I actually haven't put a lot of the brow freeze in the brow, but I could put more. And then I'm just going to take my ring finger and just use that to push down the brows. Any finger obviously is fine. Some of them are a little bit curly on the ends where they were laminated, and they're growing in slightly like odd directions. Okay, I'm pretty much happy with that. So all that's really done is you can look at the difference. It's just kind of given them a little bit more definition. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same to the other brow. Okay, I'm back and I've done the other brow. As you can see, just a little bit more kind of fluffy, sort of defined in the sense of I've got all the brows going the direction that I want. I'm just taking a cotton bud with a little bit of micellar water on. Sometimes I forget to do this, and it does actually make the world's biggest difference to how smooth your like kind of eyeshadows and eye base, everything like that goes on. So what I do is I just go round the brow, kind of like where I don't want any of the brow soap residue to be. Just because I find that when you put your eye base on top, if there's a little bit of like brow soap, brow freeze, whatever kind of like waxy product you're using, it does show up and it kind of leaves a little bit of shine, or just doesn't let the base go on as smoothly as you probably would like. So I'm just going to do this just like as an extra little prep step. And then I'm going to prime my lids with the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor number 2. Nothing new, this is an absolute staple to my makeup collection. This is my second tube of it, and the first tube lasted me so long. But I'm also going to pop a little bit of tape on the outer corner, going from the outer corner of my lash line towards the brow. And what this is going to do is create a really nice structure to the eye, and it's really easy to blend shadows on top of it. And it's just kind of, for me, one of those like fail-safe sort of makeup little tricks that I stopped doing for a while, and I realized I just always prefer the way my makeup looks when I do it. So that's what I'm going to do. Obviously, if you have a little bit more of an eco-friendly tape, that would be much better. This is just what I have to hand. So I've just lined it up with the outer corner of my eye towards my brow and patted that into place, and just make sure I can kind of like open and close my eyes as easily as I can. To put on the eye base, I'm going to take my Eggshow brush. Don't know what one this is, but this is in like the space grey colour, and I really like this brush for putting on my P. Louise base. It's like a kind of like a smallish concealer brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the base on. I'm just gonna squeeze it onto the lid and pat that on, smoothing under the brow. I really cannot talk, but it's because I haven't filmed for so long, you guys. It's very strange, but we'll get there. About that much. And I'm going to take it right in that inner corner because I get a little bit of like blue discoloration there. So I find this just kind of helps with the concealer stage later on. Now is a step that I'm really excited about. It is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I am so excited to play with this on camera. I actually bought this palette a while ago. I cannot remember when I bought it, but now we're finally filming with it. So I've used this once or twice and I love it. I'm going to focus more on the orangey shades today. This is like a palette right up my street, but you do have some like pretty kind of pinky purple shades on the other side. So I've already planned out my look. I'm going to take the shade Jasper, which is this one right here. I'm going to do a close-up for you now just so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to pop this through the crease. I'm going to do a classic kind of old school, I guess, Chiffon Makeup Biz look that I do for testing all of my palettes, which is a classic cut crease, because that way I just feel like I can use most of the shadows. But I do know I already love this palette. Like, the quality is just unreal, and I don't justify the price because I don't think anything should necessarily be that expensive, but I can understand why people are happy to pay the price, if that makes any sense. Like, they are beautiful palettes and I already want another one. So there you go. So I'm going to take the shade Jasper right here. And the brush that I'll be using is the Morphe M456, which is a very skinny tapered blending brush. I'm just going to start from the outer corner of my eye and blend towards the inner corner, patting that on while the base is still tacky. And I'm going to do one eye at a time. So I'm just taking my finger quickly just to kind of like make sure there's no creasing on that eyeshadow base, because that will obviously pick up with the shadows. So I've just loaded up my brush with that shade Jasper, and I'm just going to start stamping this in the outer section of the eye. I'm going to build that all the way through right up until the inner corner. So I'm basically just kind of pushing in to my socket to really kind of map out the shape, and I want that darkest part to be through my socket. Just doing a little wiggle. I can't go back and forth yet because that's when it will start to go a bit choppy, where I've got the damp shadow base down and nothing to really blend it. So I'm just kind of stamping that on to map out the shape. Look how pigmented that is. So pretty. And like, wait until you see the shimmers as well. They are stunning. So now that's in there, I'm just going to go back through a couple times just to make sure that kind of part of the shadow is really nice and tense. And now I can start going back and forth slightly where that area of my crease is nice and smooth. Tapping that in to the outer corner. I am going to take the shade Morgan, which is this kind of peachy colour right here. If you can see that, it looks kind of pink on camera, but it's like a peachy peach kind of colour. I'm going to take this one here as my first kind of like transition from that dark orange, and I'm going to take it on another Eco brush. It's like a teeny tiny pencil brush. So I've just picked up the colour on my brush, and I'm just going to start from the outer corner. This is super pigmented, you guys. Sometimes when I've been using this palette lately, I've forgotten how pigmented it is, and I go in like really heavy. So just a heads up, you honestly don't need that much product. So I'm just going to tap on kind of the line of that darker orange shadow and just above onto the skin that doesn't have any shadow on it yet. Just to kind of tap that on to build up that transition. Okay, and now I've got a little bit of product on. I'm just going to go in with my brush and very, very delicately just kind of go back side to side, and it will look a little bit like a splodge right now, but we're going to turn it into a beautiful splodge, so don't you worry. And then I'm going to take this teeny tiny little brush from Morphe. This is the Morphe M562, which looks like this. Is a very skinny blending brush, and I'm just going to take the shade Morning, which is a very pale like beigey yellow kind of colour, really, really pretty, and I'm going to take that on this brush to blend out the final transition colour. So I've loaded up my brush again. I always forget how pigmented these shadows are. Okay, and then just very lightly go around the edge of all of this kind of colour, and at first you won't really see anything, but promise just build that up. Because this brush is so fluffy, it takes a while to put the colour down, which sounds backwards, actually a good thing, because when it comes to blending out colour right by your brow bone, you get this really, really beautiful gradient without really too much kind of room for mistake. Almost, if that's the right expression. Take that right into the inner corner as well, blending that in little circular motions, like a sunrise. So now we've got that, it does look like a really pretty sunrise, but I am just going to go back through the colours one more time just to make sure they're really nice and intensified. So back in with that shade called, back in with that shade called Jasper, right through the main part of the crease on the outer corner. We can be a little bit more kind of rough, so to speak. Now we've really got that shadow down, because it's not going to go patchy, because we've already started the blending process. So now it's just a time where you can build up that colour and take it quite high up, because I am going to be doing a cut crease. This shadow is just so rich and gorgeous, can't get over it, can't deal. And then I'm going to take that shade Morgan, the middle peachy colour, and just kind of go back through the middle, make sure that's kind of still in there. And then back, of course, with that shade Morning, the lightish yellowy beigey kind of colour, and then right on the top, just to add that back in. And I think I'm also just going to add a teeny little bit more of the darker colour, because I want that to be very like strong to this look. Okay, I'm very happy with that transition so far. As you can see, it's super smoky, it kind of looks like a sunrise. I feel like if I wanted to, I could literally just pop, how can I show you? I could pop this shade, which is called Phlox, just right here, the shimmery red colour on the lid, and you'd get a beautiful sunset kind of eye, but that's not what we're going to go ahead and do. I am going to take the shade down from it, but I'm going to cut the crease first, just because I want this to be a little bit more of a defined look. If you are a watcher of my channel, when I did used to upload makeup videos on a regular basis, I would always cut my crease, a little bit of micellar water on a cotton bud, just to remove the colour that's already on the lids, because otherwise you end up smearing it everywhere, and it just makes your life a lot harder, basically, when it comes to cutting the crease. So you've got a wet cotton bud, just make sure it's not dripping wet, and then just apply pressure to the lid and cut the crease. So just start from where you want it to start. Some people like it past the inner corner. I've done that before, and personally it looks fun for photos, but I don't feel comfortable in it for like going out of the house. So I just kind of go slightly above the inner corner, not inwards, and just pull upwards just above kind of where my socket is, because I've got slightly hooded eyes. This is such a good way to work with different colours, and that way you can still see all of the colours you put on the lid. So I'm just taking my cotton bud and making sure I've got rid of as much of that colour as possible. I always struggle a little bit on the outer edge, so I just like to take the cotton bud and almost like I'm blending that outer corner, because it doesn't really matter too much. But this is the main part that you want to focus on, that really kind of sharp inner corner, because even if it's not perfect, when I pop on that base in a second, it's going to be so much easier to cut the crease. To cut the crease, I'm going to take this brush from Peaches Makeup. This is the Peaches and Cream PIXI FENTY brush. It's a synthetic concealer brush, really good for packing on concealer where you've cut the crease. I'm going to take the PIXI base again, but just a very, very small amount onto my brush, like literally a dot. I really don't want too much product on the lid because I find it just doesn't last as long. Not that I'm going anywhere after filming this video, but just as a tip. So I'm taking a teeny little dot of that, just dotting it on so I've got it on to the eyelid, and then I can start taking my brush and smoothing it on both sides, and just start to place that where I need it, right up to where we've carved with the cotton bud. And on that outer edge, I do find it a little bit difficult, like it kind of hurts my vision. So I just like to pat and kind of hope for the best. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And as you can see, that's left that space really nice and bright, ready to put on the shadow. I'm going to do two shades, starting with... Okay, so I'm going to do two shades, starting with this really pretty colour called Agate, which is like a goldy champagne shimmery colour. It'll be really good for a face highlight. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Amrezy highlighter. A little bit, kind of. So I'm going to take that and pop that on kind of like the inner third-ish section of the cut crease, like the section that I've just put the concealer on. I'm taking that on a Zoeva 234 Luxe Smoky Shader brush. Like, look how shimmery and beautiful that is. I've not even like wet the brush with any setting spray. So stunning. The quality is just insane. I'm now going to take this Loella Need to Conceal Chloe brush, like another flat kind of packing brush, and I'm going to take this beautiful shade, which I've not actually used yet, which is called Azalea, right in the middle of the palette. It's kind of like a deep bronzy gold with pink shimmer in it. Really, really stunning. I'm just going to pop that in this section right here. I've got no idea how it's going to look on the eye, but it's like more of a topper or like a shadow. Some of these shadows, like in the pan, just it's a general rule, I find that look really stunning, but then you put them on and realise they're more of a topper. Like this one is super foiled, and I feel like I'm breaking the shadow. I'm being super gentle. You just got to find the knack for using these types of shadows. Okay, and I'm just going to press. Okay, no, wow, that's like a duochrome madness situation, but it's almost like a creamy type formula. So I'm like pushing that down with my brush. And push. Okay, there you go. Just kind of like got to be quite firm in the palette, but not so much that you smush it, but just so it really gets on your brush. And I'm just going to overlap that Agate shimmery gold colour and take it right to the top of that cut crease. I feel like I've taken a little bit too far above, but that's fine. Then I'm just going to take the brush that had the darker shade on it, that shade Jasper, and just literally just kind of wiggle on the outer edge just so it diffuses gradually. You won't be able to see that much because it will be covered up with eyeliner, but it does add just that little bit of difference. I'm really loving this. I think it gives me super pretty sunset vibes. Now I'm going to put on a wing liner. I'm taking the Morphe Make It Big liner pen. I really like this. I've used it a good few times. Give it a little bit of a shake, and then I'm just going to pop on a wing from inner corner, outer corner, and use the tape as a guide. That makes so much difference to how the eye like pops, doesn't it? And then I'm just going to peel off this tape, which should be very satisfying. Love, look how sharp that is. I feel like it just lifts your face as well. Then I'm just going to pop some liner through the waterline. I'm going to take the Morphe 2 Always On Gel Eyeliner. This is in the shade Chocolate Craven, which is like a dark chocolatey brown. They're twist up gel liner pencils. Honestly, when I tell you they are so good. I did recently work with Morphe on a campaign on TikTok, which is just amazing. Sometimes I'm like, oh my god, did I actually just do that? Like that's like a pinnacle kind of YouTube content creator career kind of milestone for me, so thank you Morphe. But these gel eyeliners are honestly so good, like they're so rich and like easy to apply. I'm just going to tight line my upper waterline like so. And because I haven't got lash extensions, I find this step very important because when you put on strips, that way you can't see the skin. And then I'm just going to use this on my bottom kind of waterline as well. And look at the difference between this eye and this eye. That's literally crazy. And then I'm putting on mascara, which I haven't done in a really long time. It's going to be quite fun actually to give my eyelashes a break from lash extensions. So I'm just going to curl them using the Morphe eyelash curler. They probably aren't very long because I've been wearing lash extensions for months, but okay, they're not too short. So give them a little bit of a curl. To test today, I have the e.l.f. Lash It Loud Volumizing Mascara. As you can see, it's a mini size. I have a bag full of like PR and makeup and stuff that I need to test, and I found this. I thought I'd give it a go. This one is a plasticky wand, which sometimes I do actually like. So let's give this a go. I'm just gonna pop this onto my eyelashes. I wouldn't really say it's volumizing on like first stroke, but it's good at separating the lashes and giving like a very like kind of like fluttery look. But I feel like volumizing is probably the wrong word. I feel like fluttery would be a good word for this mascara. Do you know what? My eyelashes aren't half too bad. I thought they were going to be like little spikes. Okay, my lashes look really nice actually. They look very fluttery. Quite like that. I think I'll probably bring that on holiday with me because it's like a mini size. I like that. So we have a pair of lashes which I just know that I'm gonna love. These are the Be Perfect Universal Lash Collection Vibes, I think the style is, and they look like this. I'll do a close-up if this is out of focus for you. They look like they have a kind of clear-ish kind of band with separated lashes and kind of spiky outer corner, my type of lash. So I'm very excited to try these on. I know I'm going to love them, but I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye and put my lashes on, and I'll be right back. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these on. Okay, I am back with the other eye done and my lashes on. I love these lashes. I feel like they're literally the perfect style for me. I feel like you can still see the eyeshadow underneath, even though I have hooded eyes. They give a really nice like feline cat's eye effect. Love these lashes. Definitely going to be a new fave of mine. So moving on to the face, I have the MUA Pro Base Primer Oil, which is a brand new product to me. This has gold flakes in it, which should be fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and massage this in. I don't have like a table in front of me, so I'm gonna have to keep like turning around, but yeah, I'm gonna massage this into the skin and just see how it feels basically. Day to day, I don't actually tend to use a primer. I just use like an illuminating highlighter or just go in straight with foundation. So yeah, I'm gonna pop this all over the skin. Squeeze some, but not much maybe. You can kind of see a few of the gold flakes in my hand. And I'm just going to massage this, so it definitely is an oil. Feels really weird because I don't have a mirror, but I'm just going to massage this across the skin and see how it feels. I am actually going to be going in with very full coverage, heavy duty matte foundation, so the step, to be honest, is probably pointless, but I just wanted to try out the oil in this video. I have actually used baking oils, the Revolution Baking Oil Primer Oil before. Can't even remember my opinion on it, but it's not something that I tend to reach for when I do my makeup. But if you have a very, very dry skin and really need to add that like luminosity into the skin, do not be afraid of an oil, because as you can see, my skin is incredibly dewy. So I feel like if you're having a really, really dry skin day and just need like hydration, this would be really good. This might even be nice mixed in with the foundation because of like the gold flakes, but yeah, it feels quite nice. Okay, so my camera cut me off, but as I was saying, if you're someone who has dry skin, I think you would like this. And it's been on my face for like a minute or so. I went and washed my hands and changed my battery in my camera, and it has kind of absorbed a little bit more into the skin, so I think this could work quite nicely. I'm just gonna go in with foundation, concealer and everything. There's a few steps that aren't like new, so I'm just gonna going to skip over them quite quickly, but I am using a new sponge, which is the Coco Cosmetics by Chloe Marshmallow Sponges. I have the like kind of normal beauty blender kind of shape sponge, and I've used it before because I couldn't wait that long. Took it to Ireland with me and it's literally the softest thing ever, so I'm really excited for this. Apparently this one goes ginormous. This is the marshmallow sponge. This is the marshmallow sponge. So I'm going to go ahead and wet this just to show you the size difference of how big this will get. So this is before. Okay, and now I'm back. I feel like that looks much bigger. Like this is the box that it came in. I don't know, I'm so impressed by these sponges. And don't you feel like it looks like a cute little dumpling? Like a cute little baby dumpling. There's a Disney like short film, and I can't remember what film it's before, that was about this cute like dumpling. If anyone knows what I'm talking about or thinking about it, drop a comment down below. But I think it looks like a cute little dumpling. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some foundation. I'm gonna go through this very quickly. I actually have to start a shift soon working from home, so I'm gonna basically put on foundation and everything and then come back at the end to finish everything else. So I'm taking the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. This is in the shade 3, and I haven't used this foundation in a very long time, so it's definitely expired, but here we go. I really don't want to put foundation on this like fresh new sponge, but here we go. And like, what side should I use? Should I use that one? Yeah, I'm gonna use this side. Okay, just look how fresh it is. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, Coco Cosmetics by Chloe, but this is what you're for. Oh, this foundation is so old, I can't even like squeeze it out. Oh god, was this a really bad decision? This has been like the strangest filming day. Oh my god. I can't get up. There we go. Got some movement up in there. Okay. Go, I'm gonna go ahead and just pop this all over the face. You know the drill, but like, look how easy that is with this huge sponge. So let's go. Okay, loving this sponge. Like, look how much base it's like covering. Using my phone camera as a mirror. So I'm back and I put on my foundation. I think the foundation went on really nicely on top of the oil, and that sponge is just like amazing. I love it. Got a little bit of like fluff on my face somehow. Okay, so I'm now going to go in with the MUA Pro Base Foundation Stick in the shade 154 as a cream contour. So I'm just going to squeeze this up right here. As you could see, I love MUA products. I'm pretty sure they are all vegan, which is amazing. So I'm literally just going to draw this on my face, starting with on my cheekbone. I don't go under it now because when you blend it brings the cheekbone down. I go slightly like on / above. I'm also going to go around the top of my forehead. This is very, very creamy. I'm a bit kind of concerned about how this is going to blend out. Then around my forehead. Same on the other cheekbone, of course. Like so. This is very, very creamy. I don't know if I would like this as a foundation stick, but I think for a cream bronzer, this might work. I'm going to go along my jaw a little bit as well. To kind of like sculpt that out like so. Now, woo, dropping everything everywhere. It does come with a brush. I don't really want to use it, to be honest. I don't know why. I'm just very funny about using brushes that come in products. Should I start to use it and just see what happens? Yeah, it's just very like rough. I'm not into it. It's not approved by me. So I'm just gonna go in with that huge sponge. I think I'm going to try and blend it out with this. Yeah, that's better because the foundation will like kind of go on top a little bit as well. So I'm just going to blend out the cream contour with the sponge, and because this has already got a bit of foundation, I feel like it's just going to help everything kind of like merge together. I can definitely see that like primer oil peeking through my foundation. I feel like my skin looks a lot dewier than it would if I was just using that All Nighter foundation, which is usually like very, very matte. Blending that in, and the only reason I picked that foundation of choice is because I don't have any tan on, and I can't be bothered to explain why my foundation doesn't match. And the only reason I picked that foundation is because I have been too lazy to fake tan these past few days. So I'm just my normal pale colour, and the Urban Decay one I rummaged through is the only one that kind of matches that paleness. So that's why I had that one. Usually I would go for the Charlotte Tilbury, which is my favourite foundation literally of all time. Okay, that is really nice on my cheek. I think that's a really nice like cream bronzer colour, you know, blending in nicely. I like it so far. Blend out the other side. We could blend out underneath the jaw, just kind of like pull that down a little bit. My skin is like getting better, but it's very textured at the moment. Like I have kind of small bumps rather than huge big bumps, which is getting better, but it's just kind of covering the texture. For concealer, I don't know which one is going to work because I'm used to using my tan foundation. So I'm going to take the Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer in the shade C5. This one might be too dark, but I can't work it out. And then the Holly Boon Concealer in the shade 0.5N. These concealers are so good. Like so good. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop the Revolution one on to start and just kind of see what happens. I can't really work it out. Okay, that's not gonna work. I'll just pop some on my chin just to help kind of cover, and this little spot here just to help cover, but it's not gonna highlight. So I'm gonna go in with a H&B Cosmetic Soft Focus Airbrush Concealer and then use a little bit of this under the eyes, forehead, the usual, and by a little bit I mean a lot. Okay, this actually works really well. So I'm just gonna pop that underneath the eyes. I was just filming a little snippet for TikTok, so I couldn't really see the placement too much, but I'm just gonna go ahead and take like the concealer wand and just kind of go to town. When I said a little bit of concealer, I was lying, I meant a lot. Under my nostril, under these eyes. I've been getting a lot more dark circles recently, I feel like, just because I've been partying a lot of like messed up sleep schedules. I feel like my eyes are finally starting to get dark circles, which was never really an issue for me before, so that's fun. So that's new. I'm now gonna go back in with this huge sponge, but for that tiny little under eye area I'm gonna take this Morphe brush. It came in one of the brush sets and it's the ones that are slanted. I'm gonna go and blend that in, so I'm just gonna go to town and blend out the concealer. I'm gonna start with my forehead actually, because the longer you leave the concealer it will set down slightly. So for me, for example, like my areas of concern that I would want it to be brighter would be like under my chin, then my eyes, then my forehead. So I'm just gonna let it set for a little bit, like on my chin first and under the eyes, just so it provides even more like pigment and coverage and all that good stuff. Okay, and then I'm gonna take it down at the nose. I'm just gonna squeeze the sponge and just dab that in. I have a feeling like me putting more kind of matte type products on the skin is going to help get rid of that excess dewiness from the primer oil, which I do like, but just because I have to stop filming in a second and then come back later, I kind of need it to last. Now, because I have to step off the camera temporarily, I'm just going to powder my whole face. Whoa, just got it everywhere. Just going to powder my face with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, just so it's set so I can come back in a little bit and carry on the video. So I'm going to just dust this across the whole face. I'm not going to bake or anything. So I'm just going to empty some into the cap. And then I'm just taking a powder brush. This one is from Look Good, Feel Better. This is the blush brush. This one I believe donates money to breast cancer from each purchase, which is really cool. So I'm just going to smush my brush into the brush. I will clarify that, by the way, because I said that out loud and I think I'm wrong. So I will write the details in the description box down below. So I'm going to tap off the excess. Just dump this all into the skin to set that into place just for a few hours. So we are looking powdered up and ghostly. I'm going to come back in a minute because of the magic of editing with my foundation off my lips, and I will finish the rest of the face. I am back and I'm debating the background. I thought because you can see my studio lights reflecting in the mirror it kind of looks quite cool like a studio, but now I don't know, but I also don't know how to fix it, so let me know your thoughts. I feel like I quite like it, but I don't know, we're doing some work. Also, I've realised how in need I am of a new camera, and I feel like I'm going to use this to push myself, because I said to myself a couple years ago, maybe this time last year or something like that, before I went through all those life changes and everything, that when I hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers, I would invest in a new camera, because I've been using a really old camera for the longest time. It doesn't have autofocus, as you can see. It's very old, doesn't even have flash, it doesn't work basically. So I was like, do you know what? Because the battery messing up, I feel like this is a sign to really push myself to hit my goal. Random little tangent there. So we're going to move on to bronzer now. I quickly just touched up my powder. It lasted a long time. I did a little shift for about 3 and a bit hours because my hours are all over the place this week, and took off the foundation that was on my lips, as you can see. And what else did I do? I also just took a cotton bud and just went in on the inner corner of my eye just to get rid of any like eye gunk. Super glamorous, I know. But other than that, it's lasted really well on the skin. So now we're going to go on to the face products as part of the tutorial slash testing makeup video. Should be quite quick. So I'm taking the MUA Pro Base Matte Powder in the shade 160. Now this is a face powder, but I know a lot of people tend to use face powders as like a bronzer because it kind of blends into the skin quite nicely. So that's my thinking with this. I feel like it's not too dark of a bronzer. I usually would go with a darker bronzer than this. So I'm going to take it on a fluffy Eggshow brush. Just swirl into the powder. Got it everywhere. I'm wearing black cargo trousers and it's all over my hand. Okay, so the tip for this is definitely just to like tap very lightly because I just literally got it everywhere. Like, look at it. I'm just going to start, don't know why I'm going with more product, what am I doing? Okay, I'm just going to start by lightly bronzing the outer kind of section of my face, just how I would do normally. Just swirling up on there. I'm using this more of like a bronzer because it has a warmer tone than like a contour. I feel like that's quite a nice kind of subtle kind of colour. And then just along the kind of top part of my forehead. The foundation is breaking up a little bit on the top of my forehead, so I'm just going to pat that in rather than tap. I think it's where I might have like rubbed my hairline when I've been sat down. So I'm just going to tap rather than swipe that powder in, and I think that's working. That's not like breaking up the makeup, but when I did that, it kind of like started to separate on my forehead a little bit. I think that might be a mixture of like the primer oil with the foundation, and like rubbing my forehead, that kind of thing. On my cheeks, it seems fine. It was just around the top of my forehead. But you know, I quite like that as like a subtle, everyday kind of bronzer. I feel like the days where I don't have tan on, I probably reach for this just to give me like that kind of flush of like warmth back into the skin without being like too much. Just gonna tap that on my nose and then like, kind of like across the cheek a little bit. Foundation has kind of started to separate on my nose. Just here, I don't know if you can see that. Just gonna take it under the jaw and down the neck a little bit, and then pop a little bit more on this side, I think. I really like this powder so far. I think apart from the Natasha Denona palette, obviously, this is my favourite product that I've tried because that's kind of like new to my routine so far. I mean, I've still got quite a few other products that I'm excited to try. This is just giving like a really nice like subtle flush of colour, and I guess because they do have other shades, like you could find one that would work for you. I don't know like how dark or light the shade range goes. I need to check that. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying that. I am going to add some colour to my lower lash line in a second because I realised that is still bare. Thumbs up from me for the powder. I think that has definitely worked, and I think I will definitely use this as a bronzer day to day. So next is a product that I'm really excited about, and when I tell you my willpower for not using this, is there a bit of fluff on my screen? Next up is a product that I'm really excited to try. This has been like with me for what am I talking about? Next I'm going to try the Kylie Jenner blush. I'm really excited about this. This is in the shade Baddie on the Block, and I actually have heard really good things about this blush. Inside obviously you get the little plasticky protector thing with like her logo-y drip thing on, which I think is quite cool. I just usually just bin those. I try to keep them and they just annoy me, so I get rid of them. But this is the colour right here. I feel like it is actually showing, from what I can see on the viewfinder, it is showing true on camera. It's like a very muted kind of pink, but apparently it's really brightens your face. I'm really excited to try this. So let's just go into it. And it has a little mirror on the inside as well. I feel like blush nowadays, this really has become like a thing. Like people just love blush, and I love blush, so I'm very happy about that movement. So just tapped in. I have heard it's very chalky, but it is like nice, if that makes sense. So it's not like awful, but you just have to bear in mind it does have like a lot of like kickback or fallout or whatever you want to call it. So I'm just taking this on a fluffy blush brush. It's too late, I can't talk, so I'm just going to tap that onto my cheeks, starting like on the upper part of my cheeks. Ooh, this is really nice. It looks a lot lighter like on the skin, which I feel like is like the trend right now, to have like super kind of bright blush. Taking that like super close to the eye, up high. Look at the difference. I feel like on camera it does kind of desaturate the colours, but if you look either side, I mean, I can tell the difference. I think this side just looks so much more like fresh, girly, awake. Yep, love the blush. Definitely going to be using it on a regular basis. I can already tell. It's a matte blush, which I do tend to prefer just because I feel like if I use shimmers, it just kind of enhances my texture. I only really use a shimmer blush if I'm feeling super fancy, like on top of another blush, as like a topper. So this is really nice. I'm really liking this. I'm just kind of tapping that onto the cheek, taking it all way up high. I've been in a really weird mood this evening and I need to stop talking, otherwise this video is going to be like 40 minutes long. I feel like I just want to keep putting more on because it's so nice. Really, really like that blush. Thumbs up from me. Next up, I'm actually going to go in with a product from Paul and Joe. This is the Fixing Mist. I can't see the ingredients anywhere. Has a dual phase formula. Shake the bottle at least 10 times before first use. I'm guessing it's like powdery kind of stuff mixed in. I've got a really itchy finger all of a sudden. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a good old shake. I've said it's at least 10 times by now. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do one test spray like away from the camera so it doesn't splatter my face. I'm just going to spray this all over and hopefully this will help like melt the powder like into the skin as well. I feel like if you put on a lot of powder and put on a setting spray, it just kind of merges everything together. So, ooh, oh my god, very, very fine mist. I can barely feel it going on, which is a good thing, but also like it means I keep going because I don't feel like it's on my face. Feels so nice. Feels like I'm on holiday. Okay, I definitely feel like I put on enough. Why am I like stopping? I don't know. By the way, guys, I bought a new fan. I'm gonna link it down below because you all need it. It's from Amazon. It has 2 speeds, and then this is not an ad, just to clarify. It folds up, so you can just like shove it in your bag and it doesn't get damaged. How cute! And it's USB charged. Make sure that's all dry. First of all, I really like the smell of this fixing spray. It kind of has like a tropical kind of smell, so if you're into that you'll like this. You can just see how my makeup be looking. Oh, that is really nice. I feel like it's giving my skin a little bit of dew, but like in a good way. I'm gonna let that sit on the skin for a little bit. I feel like I need to add something to the lower lash line because it's just looking too empty. So what I'm gonna do is just take a kind of small shader brush. This one is just from Morphe. I think it's the Bamboo Brush Collection, and I'm just gonna go back into the palette that we used to do the eye look, and I'm gonna take the shade Jasper, that darker orange, and literally just run that underneath the lower lash line. I probably should have done this before I did the setting spray, but it's fine. So just tapping off the excess, and I'm just going to quite carefully, because I don't want to get fallout everywhere, just kind of smudge this into the lower lashes because I feel like it looks a little bit too top heavy for now. And also doing this to the lower lash line will really help to make the eyes pop a little bit more if you see the difference between that really subtle 2-second effect. It's all the little things with makeup looks, I really do think, that just all come together. So I'm just going to smudge that into the lower lash line. To make it better, I'm just going to go in with that Morgan shade, the kind of peachy colour, and then just use that to blend and soften that out just so it's not a super harsh line. Won't make too much of a difference, I don't think, but just so it's not like that super sharp line. Just going to add a little bit of mascara to my lower lashes just to add some drama and like balance out the eyes. I don't like to put too much on my lower lashes because they're quite long, so I feel like if I put loads on it gives me that like spider look, which isn't really usually my type of vibe. I'm taking the PIXI Nuance Quartet, probably pronouncing that in a really British accent when it's supposed to be all fancy, but this is the Sugar Blossom palette, PIXI by Petra, and I'm going to be taking the shade, I can never work it out when the shades are on the back, if it's like from the back or like that's how you look at it, because I think that means I'm taking the shade Sugar, which is this one right here, which I'm going to use as a really pretty highlight shade. These would also be really nice like blushes to take away with you traveling, but I just wanted to try the highlighter today, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And I'm going to take a Show highlighter brush to apply this highlighter. So I'm just going into the palette. I've not actually really used much PIXI makeup before. I've used like an iQuad for festival makeup like last year or so, and it was really good. So I definitely need to venture out and try more PIXI makeup products. Okay, so I'm just loading up my brush. I'm gonna do this cheek. I'm just going to, oh, that's really nice. I'm just kind of focus that on the high point of the cheek and then bring that up like a little C. I love, that's really nice. I really like that. I think it goes with the blush quite nicely because it has like a pinky kind of undertone. A little bit of that just like on the end of my nose and then down the nose, a little bit above the brow, or the lip. Yep. I like that, that's super pretty. And also, just while we're here, I'm going to take a little teeny tiny brush, also from the Morphe Madison Beer collection. I'm going to go into that shimmery shade we used on the cheek, and I'm just going to pop that right on my tear duct because I feel like it needs a little bit of like oomph to it. Yeah, this highlighter is super pretty. I'm now quite intrigued by the other shades in the palette. I don't know what I'd use this for, but the other like pinky colours I think would look really nice. It's like an inner corner highlight, or I mentioned earlier like as a blush topper. Yeah, I feel like that's given it the little zhuzh that it needs. I completely forgot because I'm so used to basically just not doing my brows that I'm going to try and get rid of a little bit of the powder residue that's gone in them, but I don't want to put more brow gel on because it's going to make the brows go a bit funny. But I got this brow pen from NYX. This is in the shade Ash Brown. I think I might need a darker shade, but I'm just going to take the brow pen and very like lightly, can't really see it's doing much. I think it might be because of the brow freeze like underneath. I'm basically just using this to kind of go in. Oh no, it is doing something. I think I need a darker shade of this colour though. So I might repurchase this. Okay, I can see it's working now. I might repurchase this just in a darker shade because my brow hairs, even though I dye my hair blonde, obviously my brow hairs are much darker, like they're even darker than my natural hair colour, which is this kind of brown. So I feel like I definitely need a darker shade, and then we'll be in business. If anyone has any recommendations for a really good brow pen, let me know. So I quite like the idea of going in with like a soap and then just kind of feathering on random brow hairs. I don't know, that kind of has made some difference. Okay, I do like it. I think it is like a winner in terms of formula because I can see the strokes and like the pen isn't intense enough that I feel like you'd make a mistake easy, but I just definitely need a darker shade. So I think I'm going to rebuy this from Beauty Bay just in a darker shade. Simple lip combo, just because I really wanted to try this lip gloss. I saw this on the Boots Instagram page ages ago and I just thought it was the most magical lip gloss I've ever seen. You know, that sounds really dramatic, but I actually did think that. This is the shade Lemon Lava from Fenty, and I kid you not, I check the Boots website like every day waiting for this to be released. This is their Fenty Heat Gloss Bomb in the shade Lemon Lava. It's like this yellow gold with shimmer in it. I just thought it was so stunning. So I'm going to line my lips, which I do actually have lip blush on my lips. I've got a little bit of highlighter as well, but what lip blush is basically like lip tattoo, and I've always had very pink lips naturally, but what that means is they're now a more even tone, like all the way around. They're more naturally defined. Well, not naturally, but you know what I mean, without makeup. But I actually asked for the shade Pillow Talk in the lip blush, so the shade Pillow Talk should be my perfect lip liner. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Pillow Talk lip liner and just go around kind of my lips and then blend it in a little bit. Happy with that. Look how teeny this lip liner is. So teeny. Okay, and now for the magic reveal. I'm going to take the Fenty Bomb Lip Gloss. I need my nails done. I have a bit of hair under my nail. Great. Okay, here we go. I'm so excited for this. Please be beautiful. Please be beautiful. I'm just going to pop this onto my lips. Oh my god, it smells delightful. Can't even describe the smell. Oh my god. Like that is a bit sexy actually. But wow. Okay. Yeah. This is giving me kiss me quick like vibes. Okay, that's so nice. It's got the most subtle like but noticeable gold flecks on your lips, but it's basically like a clear, like obviously undertone. Love, 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 love. And I feel like my lips look so juicy right now. Loving. And that is the finished makeup look. I'm just gonna go into the products and everything. Guys, update on the lip gloss. It tingles. It's one of those lip plumpy ones that tingles. I'm obsessed, get it. Oh my god, look at this lip gloss. Love it so much, it's gonna be my new favourite. This is the end of the tutorial. How do you feel about that? I use this microphone as a prop for a TikTok video and I thought that was really funny. Okay, right, so this is the finished makeup look. I need a mirror to discuss my thoughts. So overall, I am literally obsessed with the makeup look. Loving that lip gloss. It's still tingling now. It's giving me life and I feel like it's made my lips look even more juicier, and the eyes are so pretty, like that shimmery kind of duochrome just here. Like, it's kind of difficult to pick up on camera, to be honest, like just how pretty it is in person, but just the way it captures the light when you move your eye is just so stunning. That PIXI highlighter, a win. Kylie blush, a win. The MUA powder as a bronzer, win. And those lashes are so pretty. I will definitely reuse them, like now this month that I'm not having eyelash extensions. Like, they are like the perfect lash for me because they have that kind of spiky doll-like look that I like, with the thicker at the outer corner, but you can still see the eye look through the lash, which I like. The brow pen was really nice, but I definitely just need to get a darker shade. The primer oil is nice, but for me personally, it's not something that I will reach for, just because it definitely has made my makeup less adhered to my skin. I feel like the natural oils are working with the primer oil to create more oil underneath my skin, so I think it would only really be good for someone who has quite dry skin. And I feel like my skin is a little bit dry nowadays, but it's definitely picking up like the heat and I can see the makeup breaking underneath, and the All Nighter foundation on its own doesn't do that to me, so I know for sure it's the primer oil. The mascara was alright, nothing legendary or anything like that, but yeah, that's kind of my overview on the makeup. Obviously the Natasha Denona palette is just an absolute win. Like, I'm so happy that I did treat myself to that because the quality is just insane and it's just really nice like holding the palette. But yeah, this is the finished makeup look. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. It's been really fun to create makeup looks again and just kind of play and talk to the camera, and I always feel like every time I have like a little bit of a funk and I find it difficult to kind of prep and set and actually like get started into the filming. When I am filming, I'm talking to the camera, like creating TikTok videos while doing it, like planning out what kind of content I want to do and that kind of thing. I'm like, it gets like really excited. I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually what I really enjoy doing. So I hope I build that it's like an enemy, momentum up again. But I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did make it this far, well done. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It means the absolute world. And follow me on my social media pages. I'm shivonmakeupbiz on Instagram and TikTok. And I shall see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.